Hi all. Today we are going to discuss about why data science or analytics projects fails. Forbes in 2020 did the research and found out that only 15% of the leading firms have deployed AI capabilities into production. Another research did by Gartner in 2019 that through 2022 only 20% of analytic insight will deliver business outcomes. Another research which was done by VentureBeat in 2019 that 87% of data science projects never make it to production. Yes, these are the numbers for the data science and analytics projects failure rates. You might think it has to do with the data and processing, and you are not wrong. These are certainly challenges. However, there are bigger challenges, so let's explore those reasons and dive into what drive these failures. One of the major reasons why any project, not only data science or analytics project, but any projects fails is the executive commitment. I think executive commitment is essential to build a data driven culture in order to bring a real change. And let me give an example that in one of my projects, that because of a senior director who was the leader of that particular department, because of him, that particular project was able to see the day of light. So I was working with a corporation that builds tools, provides services, and software for the manufacture of semiconductor chips for the companies who are building electronic devices. In that particular organization, we have to build a solution for the new product initiative team. The NPI team was facing non-conformance issues, and we have to predict those non-conformance issues. And there were other things also which we have to do, but this was the core that we have to make. We have to predict the non-conformance issues. The cost of fixing those issues was very high. Apart from the senior director, there was a manager and three engineers who were the domain expert as well as the end users also. And we have to do a weekly meeting with the engineer and the manager. And senior director used to come like once in a month or twice in a month. And what was happening that everybody is not on board with the data initiative. So what was happening? We were not getting the proper feedback. We were not getting the feedback on time. So senior director was not very happy with the progress we were making, and he asked why it is, what is the reason behind it. So my manager said that we are not getting the response from his team on time. What the director did, he sent us one file. They were working on a particular tool, and they said these are the part description and can you make predictions on them. So since it was a multi-label classification problem, we have to give him the top two prediction type. We made the predictions and sent that particular file to him. After a week, we received a congratulatory email from him that we are able to save 200K from the predictions. It was a huge win for us. Now what happened? Suddenly the attitude of his team members changed. They are not only responding, but they were also providing more insight that how we can make things better. What are the other things that senior director did? He start educating his staff, emphasized the importance of data-driven decision making, and helped everyone involved work through the change management process. And this is how a project which was getting delayed and we were not getting the proper feedback, suddenly everything changed after that one email, and after that the way he did everything together. I have seen projects die down because senior managements are not committed or they don't buy in the solution. Another reason why data science or analytics projects can fail is because of politics or unfriendly competition. I firmly believe good politics and healthy competition is good for business. It motivates employees and encourages a stellar performance that can help grow the organization. However, having competition at the focal point will increase the animosity between the employees. Let me give an example why, because of the animosity or the politics between the employees, led to a downfall of a brilliant project. That particular project was supposed to increase the top line of an organization by 50 to $100 million, even though that organization is like $20 billion organization. So 50 million or 60 million is like peanuts for them, but still That was the impact that particular project was supposed to make on the top line of that organization. This project was led by the finance department, and the stakeholders whom we have to meet on weekly basis were comprised of a senior director, a senior BI manager, and a senior manager who was a domain expert also. I believe senior BI manager role was very critical in this particular project. She helped us to understand the data. She helped us to clean the data. Data was messy, and she was analytical very sound. She was able to uh, convey convey the results to the senior management, and I think she was recognized also for her hard work. And so she was made responsible to make this project live, and also responsible for the change management process from the older version to the AI based version. And for that, she went to Korea and Japan. And after that, when she came back, I do not know what happened behind her back. Things changed. We had been told that this project is not going to be live, and we are working on a rule based model, and we want to compare that which one is going to perform better, and after that we will decide that whether which of the model is going to be live. It's been, I think, 10 months. I have led that organization. It's been 10 months, and I know that project has not been live, and the only reason is bad politics. One of the major reasons why data science or data analytics projects fails, or any other project fail, is lack of communication or collaboration between the teams. If there is going to be a lack of communication, it is a solid indicator that a project is bound to fail, whether the lack of communication is between the teams or between managers and his or her direct reportees. When employees are not communicating properly, it can hurt productivity, stifle ideas, and creates a less working environment, and it will affect on the outcome of the project. It happened with me. I was working with the marketing and the sales team, and we were working on a predictive model project. There was a lack of communication and collaboration between the sales and marketing team, and the project was shut down after conducting EDA. I do not know whether you had been a part of the conversation where the stakeholders saying that AI solution will come and it is going to solve all their problems. I had been I heard those sort of the conversation a lot many times. So basically, unrealistic expectation of the stakeholders is also one of the key reasons why data science or data analytics project fails. Here I would like to say, aim low at first. Don't fall into a trap of primarily seeking hard outcomes such as direct financial gain with data science project. It's best to start AI project with a small scope and aim for soft outcomes such as process improvement, customer satisfaction, or financial benchmarking. In some cases, the financial target will be a requirement to start the project. In those situations, set the target as low as possible and understand what goals you are trying to accomplish on a smaller scale, and only then pursue more dramatic results. The NPI project that I had mentioned earlier, it might not have been successful if we were not able to set the expectation straight with the management team. We were having a discussion with the senior director and his team members, and their expectation was that AI solution will come in and it is going to solve all their problems. We told the senior director and his team members that the data is bad and we have to predict top 2 problem types out of 180 different problem types. And then we asked the senior director that if we are able to save $2.5 to $3 million on yearly basis, will it help him to achieve his business objective? He was elated and he said, if we can do that, it will be a win-win situation for us. If management didn't reflect on the feasibility of their goals, the risk is high that the perceived advantages of a data science project or a data analytics project will miss their mark. I am not sure that whether you had come across a scenario where the ethics and compliance team has asked you to shut down a particular project because it is going against the company's policies. But there are a lot of sectors or departments where you cannot use certain variables, or you cannot even work on that data science or data analytics project altogether. In fact, ethics is more or so like a double-edged sword that can lead to serious ethical, market branding, and legal issues. And most often these issues arise by lack of oversight or by accident. For example, in 2012, a retail chain asked his advanced analytics team to predict whether a woman was pregnant so that they could offer targeted ads. They were successful in this prediction, in fact, very successful, but they ignored the wider privacy implementation, which resulted in public backlash due to the creepiness factor. And this particular story was published in lot of magazines, and there was a lot of hue and cry about this particular thing, about the ethics and all. And this project was eventually shut down by that particular retail chain. While the potential ethical issues that might arise when using data science and artificial intelligence, it is critical to uncover potential ethical issues upfront. Now, this particular reason is a pretty obvious one, and I'm pretty sure everyone has come across the bad data. Without data, you cannot have a data science or analytics project. Yet, this data can be challenging to collect, create, or even to purchase. Even if you can get access to the data, you still have to overcome lot of issues, such as whether you can ethically and legally use the data for your intended use case, or you can process the data in a timely manner. Is the data clean, or you can clean the data? And do you know whether the data drifts over time? With all these challenges, it is no surprise lack of data remains a significant challenge for a successful data science or data analytics project. One of the most common mistake the organization make is that they treat data science projects like a standard software projects, which alienates data science from what it is. Without establishing clear methodologies for data science project management, organizations often resort to ad hoc project management processes, which can lead to inefficient information sharing, misstepped, and misinformed analysis. Organizations, if they want to have a successful data science or analytics project, they need to have a clear data science lifecycle with an agile collaboration framework. Another key reason for a failure of a data science project is the right talent and experience. What does it mean is, let us take my example. I have a domain expertise of marketing, sales, and strategy. Let's say tomorrow my manager says that you are going to work on a data science project with finance department or logistic department. I do not know anything about logistic or finance. And if I'm going to work with that particular team or that particular project, I'm pretty sure is bound to fail. If I do not have that particular domain experience, I'll try to learn that particular domain. And getting the insight about a certain domain, you need time, 6 to 12 months. And that is another reason the organization need to understand the domain expertise of a data scientist is important. Another key reason is they do not understand the tech stack of a data scientist. For example, if somebody has an expertise in NLP projects or a predictive modeling project, those guys are put up into a computer vision project. The tech stack of predictive analytics versus the computer vision project is completely different. For example, in computer vision, one needs to understand OpenCV, Tesseract, deep learning modules. One should know how to run a machine learning model on GPUs and all those stuff. Whereas for predictive modeling is completely different altogether. So if you do not put a right talent for a right project, otherwise data science project is bound to fail. I'm pretty sure some of you might have worked on a project with not properly defined business problem or business objectives. Or let's say uh, you had worked on a project with a clearly defined goal, but it is not realistic or that does not add any meaningful value. You guys are not alone. We have all been there. I've seen large organizations that they have hired data scientists, data engineers, um, BI analysts, and later on they realized that they had misunderstood the business problem altogether, or they had misunderstood the target variable altogether, and they keep on rendering the analysis which is irrelevant. To mitigate this risk, everyone has to understand that they should start the project on the right foot and ask the right questions before starting the project. Don't just take any request at a face value. Rather, dive deeper to truly understand the underlying problem that needs to be solved. Otherwise, everyone will keep beating around the bush, and later on, after doing the EDA or in the initial phases, you realize that might be we do not need a data science project. We might need a reporting project or just a simple dashboard to solve this particular problem. So I had seen we waste a lot of time on solving wrong problems, and those data science projects fails. Another reason for data science project failure is the deployment. And we had seen it has been reported by VentureBeat in 2019 that 87% of the data science project do not make it into the production. Here, I'm not talking about that deployment. I'm not talking about whether there is a data scientist team and data engineering team, they are not working properly, or data engineers, they do not have exposure to the ML ops, and that is why the data science project fails during the production stage. Here, I'm talking about the traditional definition of a project. A project ends whenever the scope is delivered, and for data science, this is often the deployment phase. However, our work does not end there. If you think it does, now let's take this particular scenario. How many predictive model during COVID times have been able to correctly predict, let's say, the churn rate or anything else, if you had trained the model using data from 2019? The answer is none. Let's say another example. Let's say the data feed stops sending data or starts sending corrupt data. We all know garbage in, garbage out. Again, your project is failed if those sort of the scenario comes in. Let's take another example. End user not adopting your solution. If the end users are not adopting your solution, again your data science project fails. Now, some of these issues you can plan for, others you cannot. So plan for the unplanned, ensure that you have the proper staffing and focus to allow your models to continue to add value beyond the initial deployment. Proactive planning can mitigate these type of the scenarios. There might be hundreds of other reasons such as infrastructure issues, recruitment process and whatnot. A data science project can fail. But in my professional life as a data scientist, I had seen predominantly these 10 reasons why a data science or any other analytics project fails. So, guys, thank you so much. Have a great day.